Hey there and welcome back. Today we are going to be doing a daytime holiday makeup look. So say you maybe want something for the office or have like a lunch or an earlier party, so you don't want necessarily that full-on glam, but still want something very pretty and holiday themed to wear. So I'm very first going to get started using my Urban Decay Eyeshadow Primer Potion, or you can use a little bit of a primer just from your face on your eyes, just to make sure that makeup stays in place all day. You know, this isn't absolutely necessary to do, but I just feel like it makes it easier because you basically don't have to mess with your eyes if you put a primer and set your eye. You kind of just, you know, do your makeup at the beginning of the day and you don't even have to worry about it creasing or dealing with it throughout the day at all. So just pressing that across the eye. And I like that this has a little bit of like a yellow tint to it. I know some different ones have different tints to it. I think the yellow kind of helps cancel out any redness as well. So once that is blended across the eye, and I like to also use my ring finger just because it's a little bit more gentle, press that into the skin. And then I'm just going to set it with a little bit of translucent powder. I'm just going to take the lightest shade from my Wet n Wild All Natural palette in 754A Nude Awakening. So just taking like the very first translucent shade, or like kind of lightest shade, kind of like a skin or bone color to set the eye. So just using a Sigma E60 large shader brush. Okay, then I'm going to go into my Carli Bybel palette. This is her first one that she did. It has just a little bit less shades in it. I'm going to go in with that lighter brown color here, so it just like is more of like a golden brown. I'm just going to use that as a transition shade in my crease. Not too heavy, just as a kind of a transition color here. We're kind of do like a gold shimmery look. Okay, so now that we kind of have that coppery brown color on, I'm going to go in with the darker brown shade here and focus that more just on the outer V and kind of really getting that deep into the crease. So with the other color, we brought it pretty far up. This one we're going to keep more right in the crease. And I'm using a Sigma E70 medium angled shading brush for this. Just keeping that right in the crease. And then I'm also going to bring it just slightly onto the lid in the outer corner. Kind of packing that up. And now I'm just taking my Sigma E40 tapered blending brush, just kind of blending this out. There definitely is like a little bit of fallout from these shadows, but I just like that they blend so nicely and they're not super flat matte. They have like a little bit of shimmer in them. So I like that, but I'm just making sure that looks nice and blended. Again, we aren't going for a super glam look today. We just want something that kind of says festive. Then taking a Sigma E55 eye shading brush, I'm going to go into the shimmery gold color here. I'm just going to pat that on the lid, and then we're going to actually go in with a little bit of actual glitter. But just want to pat that into the lid here, just to kind of brighten up the center before we go in with any glitter. Alright, now I'm going to take some of this Wet n Wild color icon. It's in brass. It's just really basically a sparkle. I had to grab it. It was like, I think like less than $1. I'm going to grab just like a small, very like flat, densely packed brush, just to pat a little bit of this right on the center. I think this is going to be a fairly dry glitter, so I'm just going to spritz this with a setting spray, or if you have like a Fix Plus. Okay, so just getting that a little bit damp here. Just gonna take a little bit of the shimmer, or the sparkles rather, and just put that right in the center of the eye. Just on the lid. This really is quite a dry glitter, but I'm just gonna put it right there just to add a little bit and kind of make sure that really is stuck to the lid. And it's just going to add a little pretty little sparkle without going over the top. Now obviously if you wanted to make this for like a glam night look, you could definitely build it up and do a lot of sparkle. But I'm already getting a little bit on my cheeks here. But just if you have just kind of a couple flecks on there, you probably can even just go in with your finger. Actually, that probably looks even a little bit nicer, going with your finger and put that right, push that right onto the lid. Actually, I think you probably will have the best success here with your finger. I would suggest going with a black liner. Just make sure you're keeping it a little bit more thin, maybe not like a super thick inky wing, but just the black will really help kind of anchor the look. You definitely can go in with a brown, again, for the daytime look, but I kind of like the black. I'm just using the Seraphine Botanicals Liquid Kohl Liner, so this is a little bit more of like a dry liner. Just going to draw a fairly thin line on my upper lash line. All right, so to keep the eye look a little bit brighter, because this is a daytime look, I suggest going in with a nude or a white pencil on the bottom waterline. I have here the Essence Extreme Lasting Easy Glide Waterproof Waterliner in Silky Nude. I'm just gonna put that in the bottom waterline. Okay, so now that the eyes are pretty much done, we'll come back and work on the lower lash line when we're done setting my makeup. I'm going to do my foundation and concealer. I haven't really done anything different from the last video, so I will do that and be right back. Okay, so I've done my foundation, concealer. I did the number 7 Stay Perfect with a little bit of the Beautifully Matte, as I've done in my last video. I then concealed with the Tarte Shape Tape, set my face with the Maybelline Fit Me, and I also contoured with my Sephora contour palette and did a little bit of bronzer, the NYX Matte Bronzer. Now for cheeks, I'm going to go in with this e.l.f. Blush. It's just the color 23107 Blushing. And just take that on a Sephora angled blush brush. It's just like a really like kind of Barbie pink, so I just want a little bit of color since I want to do a little bit more of like a red rosy plum lip. I just kind of want to keep the cheeks really simple and just add a little bit of pink to the cheeks. Okay, now I'm going to go in and work on the lower lash line a little bit. I'm going to take my NYX Baked Shadow in Easy Rider. It's just a white baked shadow, and use that to highlight the inner corner and the brow bone. And I'm taking this on a Sigma E30 pencil brush. Just keeping that really close in that inner corner there just to really, really brighten it. And then also on the brow bone, a little more. Then going back into my Carli Bybel palette and going back into that dark brown shade here and just putting a little bit of that just very, very close to the lash line. So you don't want it to kind of drag too far down for this kind of more daytime look. Again, if you were going for a more glam look, definitely really smoke out the bottom, but just keep this real close to the lower lash line if you're going for more of that daytime look. Let's put on just a little bit of highlight. I'm going to use my Wet n Wild Megaglow Highlighter that I've been using in the color Precious Petals, if I can find a brush to apply that with. Just on the cheekbones. And I'm just going to put that on the Cupid's bow also. I'm not really going to highlight anywhere else. I think we have enough shimmer going on. I'm now going to do my brows and lashes, and I will be right back. Okay, so now that my brows and eyelashes are done, I'm just going to set my face with a little bit of IT Cosmetics Bye Pore Pressed across the skin with a, let's see, this is a Crown, I think, foundation brush. I'm not really sure. This came, I believe, I don't really know this brand very well. Just kind of pushing that in across the areas that I want to set my skin, and just a little bit across the cheeks to really make sure that's all blended together. Oh, and I have a few flecks of glitter still on my face from the eyes. I think the eyes really did turn out really nice, though. I'll do a close-up shot before the end so you guys can see. Then just spritzing the skin with some Gerard Cosmetics Slay All Day Setting Spray, or your favorite setting spray. I'm like leaning back because I have like a drink up here. I have some emergency. Make sure this winter you are really, really hydrating, guys. It is definitely getting colder out. Okay. So let's go in and do something with the lips. I kind of want to do like a red plummy color. I have this sweater on that I'm going to be wearing today. I'm going to take the NYX Butter Lipstick first, and this is in the color Lifeguard. It's pretty, like a pretty red color, so I'm actually going to put that on the lips and we're going to blot it so it looks more like a stain. Just kind of putting that, it doesn't have to be perfect. Alright, so just kind of make sure to kind of smush your lips together and make sure that the whole lip is completely filled in there. And then we're just going to take a tissue and just fold it in half and just basically push your lips onto the tissue. And maybe do it one more time. So basically what that does is take that excess color away and kind of leave, like I said, with a little bit more of a stain. I'm just going to slightly dab the tops of my lips also, like by my Cupid's bow. Like I said, so this kind of gives like a pretty stain. So I'm looking at it and it looks still pretty red. So I'm just going to put a touch of this liquid lipstick. This is the Meet Matte Hughes in the shade Dedicated. I mean, this doesn't blot as nice because it's a liquid lipstick, but this will kind of help give a little bit more of that plum color. And then the same thing, just blot. The stain will also help your lipstick last a little longer actually, because it's like a little bit more pressed into the lips, and it doesn't have as much of that shine kickback. So again, it's perfect for that daytime holiday look, so you're not going with like a crazy big wing and a dramatic shiny red lip. This is a little bit more muted, even though it is a lot of makeup. It looks very pretty on the skin. It definitely is a little bit, has that shimmer with the eyes and the red lip, but still is wearable for during the day. So I hope you're able to recreate this look if you have any sort of daytime holiday needs, whether it's a lunch, a daytime party, or you just want something a little bit more muted even for the evening as well. Hope you have a very Merry Christmas. Please like and subscribe.